All right, let's talk about the Bucks real quick. So, as most of you guys already know, the Bucks, despite a good start of the season, after 43 games, they already won 30 of them and only lost 13 of them. They still let go of their first-year head coach, Adrian Griffin, a guy who reportedly had the blessing from Giannis Antetokounmpo out there that they embraced publicly. They still let him go. And I really wasn't expecting it. I know Stephen A. Smith has kind of been teasing the firing of the guy a few times on First Take, saying that the defense was so trash that they would let him go. But I didn't think it would happen after not even a year. He didn't even make it to through All-Star break, and they still let him go. That's kind of crazy. That kind of reminds me of the David Blatt situation. I don't remember what year it was, but in Cleveland with the Cavs, obviously, LeBron James and everything, despite a 30-11 start, they let him go. But the difference is at least David Blatt got at least one season under his belt, and he replaced him for Tyronn Lue. Now, the big difference, though, is that at least David Blatt got a year under his belt. Adrian Griffin, not only was it his first season as a head coach, only 43 games in, not even an All-Star break, but for the Bucks, they had to incorporate Damian Lillard into their offense, and that's a big piece that commands the basketball. And you can see sometimes Giannis, especially at the beginning of the year, he was trying to figure out if he should really be assertive, if he should take a backseat to Damian Lillard. And Damian Lillard, even himself, it felt like he came in kind of timid. He wasn't letting them shots fly like he would in Portland and everything. Also, a guy like Chris Middleton, I know he was already kind of playing as a third option last year behind Drew Holiday, but the pecking order wasn't that defined. Sometimes you would still see Chris Middleton kind of step up to the play and try to do some stuff. Now he's really a third option, if not a fourth sometime. So that's a big adjustment on the guy, and he's been struggling with that. But despite all of those things that I've said, the offense is amazing for the Bucks. The real problem is the defense. And this is where I kind of fear that the reports, like, for example, I saw Chris Haynes talk about the situation, and he said that Adrian Griffin had already lost the locker room, especially after an infamous incident in at practice when he pretty much singled out Giannis and Damian Lillard and said that they needed to lead. He called them out in front of the whole team, and maybe that didn't land right with the players and everything. They're like, bro, who are you? You just got here. You got no resume. Who are you to call us out? Most of us already won a championship. We know what we're doing, right? Maybe that was the messaging. But when I see a team, especially with such great personnel, play such lackluster defense, that kind of tells me that, yeah, the messaging of the coach isn't really coming through, because 21st defensively is just unacceptable for that team. Last year, they were a top 5 defense. I know they got rid of Drew Holiday, which is arguably the best defender at his position, and replaced him with a point guard who's never been known for his defense. But still, there's no reason for them to tumble all the way down from top 5 to bottom 10 in the league. That just shouldn't happen. And quite frankly, because of the terrible defense, I never really thought that the Bucks would actually win the championship. You can be okay defensively and still compete, but 21st is just not going to cut it. So I guess that's kind of sad for Adrian Griffin that he didn't even get to sniff the playoffs with that team to really showcase improvements. For example, I'm thinking of a guy like Joe Mazzulla, who was under fire all last season, and at least they brought him back this year. And I feel like the Celtics are slightly better, that he's doing better as a coach, and that increasingly he might become a very good coach. It's just a matter of time. But I also understand that the timelines on the Celtics side is not the same as on the Bucks side. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I feel like he feels like the clock is ticking for whatever reason. He already has a championship, but I feel like he's really striking for to get into gold conversations and everything. And they were kind of stagnating. Sorry, they weren't really improving in the playoffs. And you can make a case that if it wasn't for KD and the injuries on the Nets, they shouldn't even have won like that. Giannis was also threatening before they got Dame that he wouldn't resign if he did not get help. So they're not being patient right now. They're really in the win now mode. Fair enough, especially after acquiring Dame. The man still doesn't have a championship or whatever. He's already in his 30s, and it doesn't seem like he's ascending anymore already. He might have peaked. He's elite, but like I can name a few point guards that would take over them this season. I could still do that. So I understand all of that. My only issue is that if you're in win now mode, why would you go and grab Doc Rivers? Why would you do that? Like Doc Rivers, I don't even mean to hate. I think he's cool. I kind of liked him on TV and everything. But at this point, man, like he won a championship in '08. Shout out to him. But that squad was so stacked. It would have been insane for him not to win the championship. And since then, it's been just playoff failures after choke job after choke jobs. And even him, it's not like he's blameless. Like sometimes the superstars underperform and everything, and then people like to look at the coach and blame him. But with Doc Rivers, my issue is that his coaching has never been good in the playoffs since those championship runs. He's not showing the ability to actually make any adjustments. And the defenses that he's running are always good, but offensively, the offense are just not evolved. It's very ISO-oriented and maybe swing, and yeah, we try and get a three if we can, but that's about it. There's no real schemes, and he hasn't been able to really maximize his best players' potentials like that. So I've seen a few of the criticism that was coming Mr. Griffin's way is that he has not been able to unlock Damian Lillard yet, and I don't feel like Doc Rivers is your answer if you want that. The only reason I could see why they would go and get Doc Rivers is maybe because they see in Giannis a little bit of KG, so they feel like Doc Rivers would be able to get to KG the way he was get to Giannis, the way he was getting to KG, and it was like, yeah, it would work, but that's the only thing I could say, because at this point I don't understand why every time there's an open position in the NBA, everyone just runs and grab Doc Rivers and expect to win championship. Plus, winning a championship after a coaching change mid-season is insanely rare. So I still don't believe that Doc Rivers is just going to come in, fix the offense, which didn't mean to be fixed like that, completely improve the defense, and be a good enough coach to coach his way through an NBA final and a title. I don't think that's the answer. So for the Bucks, it's kind of sad for Griffin again, but I don't think they're winning. I don't think they'll win, and quite frankly, I don't understand what they're thinking. Gilbert Arenas said that probably this decision has nothing to do with basketball. We don't have enough information at this point, but this is definitely something we need to look into. And before I leave, I don't believe there's a world in which Coach Griffin gets fired unless Giannis kind of wanted to. Like, Giannis has been very vocal about everyone needing to step up. He's been very vocal about saying that they weren't good enough, they need to improve and everything. So, and again, he's just the best player. He's clearly the franchise. He has a player on the roster that doesn't belong in the NBA just because he's that great and the Bucks has that much respect for Giannis. I don't see a world in which it did not play a role in getting his coach fired. And he won't get the smoke for it. If he wins, there won't be any argument, any smoke that needs to come his way. But if they fall short again in the playoffs, and it's about him not being able to hit free throws, for example, I think we're going to have to look at Giannis. So anyways, we're going to close the video right here. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Please get in the comment section and give me your thoughts about the whole thing. Why do you think Griffin is out? Do you believe that the Bucks will be better with Doc Rivers? And are the Bucks, in your opinion, allowed to get to at least the East Conference, is not further now that they have Doc Rivers? Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's been your boy. I'll see you guys later. Peace.